Hey everybody, welcome to BlueCast. I have a question for you. Does fruit get you high? Does it get you higher? Can it sober you up? Are you wondering if you have any fruit now that I've mentioned this? We'll be answering those questions and more on this episode of BlueCast, where we're taking a deep dive into the world of fruit-enhancing drugs. That's fruit that enhances drugs. And stick around to the end because we are doing a giveaway. This is our 10th episode. Grapefruits. Grapefruits may be absolutely disgusting and only palatable with heaping spoonfuls of sugar, but did you know that it can help you K-hole? But seriously, it should be noted that eating grapefruit can increase the concentration of ketamine in the blood, which can result in a stronger or longer trip. How does this work? I'll try and explain it to you. Ketamine is primarily metabolized in the liver, mainly by the cytochrome P450 enzyme CYP3A4. You got that? When you consume grapefruit or its juice, it can inhibit the activity of that CYP3A4, which is what gets you the higher levels of concentration of ketamine in the blood. So while grapefruit is the most widely recognized fruit in this regard, there are other citrus fruits that actually have the same effect, such as Seville oranges, which are used to make like bitter marmalade, and pomelo. These also contain similar compounds called furanocoumarins that can inhibit that cytochrome P450 enzyme and potentially interact with medications. What medications, you might ask? Well, here's a giant fucking list of all of the medications that grapefruit can interact with. Damn, that's a lot of medications. Oranges. Have you heard, man? When you're on Molly or acid or mushrooms or pretty much any drug, you can drink orange juice and it's going to intensify your trip. Have you heard about this? I'm sorry to tell you that this is largely cap. The theory is that the acetic acid in orange juice can speed up this metabolism of psychedelics and entactogens, changing the strength of the effects during a trip. But this claim is most often made about mushrooms, since the acetic acid can help to break down psilocybin into psilocin, which is the compound that makes you trip. But unfortunately, store-bought orange juice and just eating a regular orange, that doesn't contain a high enough concentration of this acetic acid to have a meaningful effect on psilocybin breakdown. And the effects on drugs like LSD or MDMA don't have any scientific backing. But in my experience, drinking some cold orange juice during an acid trip just tastes yummy, so give it a go. Bananas. Back in the day, there used to be a so-called cookbook that you could find in the dark corners of the internet. And in that cookbook, there was a recipe for smoking bananas. It goes a little bit like this. Believe it or not, bananas do contain a small quantity of Musa sapientum bananidine, which is a mild, short-lasting psychedelic. There are much easier ways of getting high, but the great advantage to this method is that bananas are legal. Step 1. Obtain 15 pounds of ripe yellow bananas. Step 2. Peel all 15 pounds and eat the fruit. Save the peels. Step 3. With a sharp knife, scrape off the insides of the peels and save the scrape material. Step 4. Put all scrape material in a large pot and add water. Boil for 3 to 4 hours until it has attained a solid paste consistency. Spread this paste onto cookie sheets and dry in an oven for about 20 minutes to half an hour. This will result in a fine black powder. It makes about 1 pound of bananidine powder. Usually one will feel the effects of bananidine after smoking 3 or 4 cigarettes. And then they've got this great chart at the bottom in case you wanted to track your bananidine. This isn't real. This isn't real. So, unfortunately for anyone who had their hopes up, getting Bananaramid on some peel scrapings is not in the cards. In the 60s, bored teenagers would share bullshit stories on the secret hallucinogens hidden in local grocery and department stores because nobody was cool enough at that point to get acid. And one of these stories involved separating, boiling, baking, and drying bananas to extract the chemical bananidine, and totally trip balls, man. But the banana lore does not end there. In 1967, Country Joe McDonald, lead singer of Country Joe and the Fish, found a large banana previously used as part of a decoration in a parade float, and the band strapped the banana to their car and drove around the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood of San Francisco to promote their band. During this afternoon, the band announced from a bullhorn that smoking banana peels would induce a hallucinogenic response. Country Joe and the Fish also passed out banana peel joints to audience members at some of their concerts, which I think would just be unfortunate and not a nice prank. Later in 1967, the Berkeley Barb, which is a counterculture newspaper, published a recipe for turning a bunch of bananas into a powerful hallucinogen, which later made its way into the critically acclaimed cookbook that I mentioned above. Lemons and limes. On the other hand, lemons and limes are trying to get you fucked up. Lemon tech is a technique in which you saturate your mushrooms in lemon or lime juice in order to increase the absorption of psilocin in your body. Magic mushrooms contain psilocin, which is the prodrug. That means it's inactive until it's metabolized in the body, again, primarily in the liver, into its active form called psilocin. Psilocin is what makes you trip balls. Lemon tech is thought to expedite this conversion outside of the body by using the acetic acid in lemon or lime juice to do the hard work for you. This means that your body may absorb the newly converted psilocin more rapidly, potentially leading to a faster onset of the trip. It can also reduce nausea, and the fact that it's in a liquid also means it's going to absorb faster than just simply eating dried mushrooms. It can also taste better than eating dried mushrooms or trying to be Gordon Ramsay with a slice of pizza or a baguette. These next two aren't fruit, but what the fuck? Pepper. Pepper is not only not a fruit, but it doesn't get you high. Pepper gets you less high, or more sober, sort of. Picture this. You're in your room and you decide today is a good day to eat the 500 milligrams of THC edibles that you got from Joey Diaz and finally smoke that Terp Diamond Bubble Rosin Raw Batter and Moon Rocks infused blunt that you got from the cookies dispensary. An hour passes and you're wondering if the cops are outside, and you're writing a will and testament to your family, making sure to include all of your pets for things that they can't even use. This interaction is based off of the presence of a compound in pepper called beta-caryophyllene, hope I'm saying that correctly, which is also found in some cannabis strains. Let me know in the comments if you've smoked strains of cannabis with this terpene in it and what effects you experience, because I'm curious what the effect of smoking this kind of weed would be. Do you just get less high? I don't know. Let me know down below. This terpene functions as a cannabinoid receptor type 2 CB2 agonist. It can bind to CB2 receptors, which are found primarily in the peripheral tissues and are involved in modulating the body's immune response and inflammatory processes. Now, this is different to THC, which primarily binds to the CB1 receptor, which are mostly located in the central nervous system. The idea is that this terpene may interact with these CB2 receptors and potentially mitigate some of the anxiety or discomfort associated with being greened out. Please keep in mind this is based on anecdotal evidence and the science isn't totally in on this yet. Chocolate. Dark chocolate contains anandamide, a compound that is molecularly similar to THC and binds with the same receptors in the brain. Consuming dark chocolate after consuming cannabis can possibly enhance the effects and prolong the high, but reports on this, again, are still anecdotal at the time. Anandamide is something called a lipid mediator and binds to CB1 receptors. Several studies demonstrate that anandamide could be involved in the addiction-producing actions of other abused drugs, and it can also act as a behavioral reinforcer in animal models of drug abuse. Another compound in chocolate called theobromine can have a positive effect on mood and energy levels and is similar to caffeine, which is also found in cacao beans. For our last fruit, apples. It's really the age-old question. Can apples get you high? No, they can't get you high. They're apples. Alright guys, well that's it for this episode of BlueCast. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these fruit combinations with substances, and please remember to be careful with any and all substances you may be using. Know that life is not a race. We all have plenty of time to take it slow and be responsible with any substances that we do choose to use. Again, this channel does not recommend that you do drugs. I don't recommend that you do drugs, as shocking as that may be. But if you are going to do drugs, please be safe with them. People love you. You are loved. And remember, as always, to join our Discord community, which is full of love. And you can join myself and more than 17,000 other psychonauts and just come hang out. We just chill. You know, it's cool. So, if you've stuck around this long, you've watched the whole video, or if you just fast forwarded to the end of the video right after I said the word giveaway, this part is for you. I will be giving away a free DMT's tie-dye to a random commenter below. I didn't say DMT, I said DMTs. DMTs are handmade tie-dyes made with Mimosa hostilis root bark. This is the ingredient found in ayahuasca blends around South America and is commonly used for DMT extraction. While none of these shirts actually contain DMT, they do contain the natural dyes found within Mimosa hostilis root bark, which makes them all entirely unique. Please don't smoke these shirts. They don't have drugs in them, okay? They're just cool, all right? The winner will receive a custom DMT shipped out within 2 weeks of the selection. If you don't feel like waiting, I've included a link to the DMT's Etsy store below, as they are a sponsor for this episode. It is down there in the description. Check that out. Thank you so much, DMTs. Thank you guys for watching. As always, please remember to like and subscribe. That really helps the channel. We could do with some more comments down there. I want to know what's going on with you guys. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear about? What do you want to learn about? What do you want to teach me about? You know, let's go. And just remember to eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, and spread love.